Hey, good Sunday evening, everyone. This is First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich with an update on what's going to happen with this kind of snow situation going into Tuesday night and Wednesday. And really, let's get the timing straight because since last week, I've been talking about the potential, but really downplaying the amounts. And finally, things are coming into better focus tonight. And the timing, it really is. We thought it could be Tuesday or Wednesday night. In the last couple of days, it really looks like this is going to be a Tuesday night and Wednesday thing, probably Wednesday morning. Now, you're looking at the surface map tonight, and the first thing you notice is look at all this cold air up in Canada. These are temperatures below zero, and even for Canada, these are pretty far south, sub-zero degree temperatures for this time of year. This is a really cold air mass for mid-November. You can see the Arctic front sitting right there, and let's throw up the isobars. You can see this big Arctic high. It's now about 1036. It's just going to get stronger, and there's your Arctic front moving down through the Dakotas tonight. We've got a big area of high pressure ahead of it, which is going to warm us up nicely as we go through the next couple of days. So let's start looking at the models. The one that it's kind of weird, this normally doesn't happen. Typically we lean on the European model long range. The GFS really, since I would say Thursday or Friday, was making the most sense. And once again tonight, it looks like that's the case. So what you're looking at here, I have the surface isobars, the surface pressures, and the 500 millibar vorticity. That's basically the energy that we're trying to track with this storm. And this is the latest model run. And the first thing you notice is the trough coming down, and you see this big elongated area of like yellow. This is the Arctic front moving south, and this is the Arctic high back over the Dakota. So as we go out through Monday night into Tuesday morning, the Arctic front is getting down here. And what's going on while this is happening, we're starting to see some really cold air happening. Is the wind is blowing in some really cold air at the lowest levels of the atmosphere, and it's wrapping down, digging under some of the more warm, humid air that's just off the surface. So as we go into Tuesday night, we start to see that vorticity move in here, and you can see, we'll try to get this to pop up here. There we go. Let me get out of this real quick. There we go. And you'll begin to see the vorticity moves right across the Carolinas. That's our lift right there as it moves through. So our timing is really Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. There's your biggest lift. Now let's back up a little bit here and let's switch to snow. We'll show you what the snow totals look like. We'll do the same thing. We're going to go out through Tuesday. You can see the snow coming down from the Ohio Valley, moves into the Carolinas, and again, not overly impressive. What you're looking at right here in Greensboro is about 1 inch. Around Charlotte, 3/10 of an inch. North of Asheville, about 3/10 of an inch. This is not a really big deal. I'll go out through the rest of Tuesday morning. You can see that's about it, and then it starts to melt by the time we get towards especially Thursday afternoon to Thursday evening. So what are the models looking like? I showed this earlier on Facebook, and this is really one of my favorite tools to use for winter weather, and it's what we call the Schreff plume or the ensemble forecasting. And what you're looking at here, this line right here, is the current time, and you see 18Z, that is going to be 2 p.m. on Tuesday, and 0Z is going to be 7 p.m. Coming up on Tuesday evening. So you see all these different runs. These are basically 22 different model run scenarios. The most extreme outlier is for 1.18 inches in Charlotte. Not a lot. The most extreme low one is 0.02. The black line is the mean. That's typically what I look at, and you can see the mean is for about 3/10 of an inch, which lined up pretty well with the GFS model. So let's look at the European. The European model still shows snow. It's the most aggressive. It's still been very aggressive with this system, and you can see what it does. It brings the stuff in here basically just a little bit slower. It looks like it's going to be more, I would say, more in the Wednesday time frame. So you can see this is Wednesday morning. As opposed to Tuesday night. So this is just a big jump here to Wednesday morning. But even here, look at the totals. There's a little bullseye of 1.3 over Monroe, but even these have backed off from the previous European models, which for some reason the model runs in the European have just been absolutely crazy, which typically doesn't happen. Here's another view. This is the GFS I just showed you about, which lined up with what I just showed you. Very small trace amounts, maybe a ½ an inch. Looks like a bullseye up here near Danville. Which who knows if that's gonna, I don't really buy that either. And here's our in-house model, something we call Futurecast. It's the RPM model from WSI. It's even lamer. It has almost no snow east of the mountains except for this little line, which kind of coincides with what you just saw on the GFS, a little peak up here towards the Danville area. So I showed this earlier on Facebook as well. I'll show you this again. This is basically what the Weather Service uses for their probabilities. You can see on the left, here's the chance of 1 inch of snow falling in that location. So we'll go into basically early Wednesday morning. This is basically about 2 o'clock in the morning. You can see a 1 to 5% chance for the Asheville area. Then Wednesday morning, basically around sunrise, this is 7 a.m. We've got a little area that looks like it's going to line up with area South Charlotte. And again, this is 1 to 5%, not huge amounts. We go into Wednesday afternoon, it's pretty much in the same spot. And then by Thursday, which is basically Wednesday night, Wednesday at about 8 p.m., it still shows that same area. So it's still holding out some hope that we'll see some snow here in the upstate of South Carolina. But look at these percentages, and you're talking 1 to 5%. If I were really going to put a forecast out right now, I think this 0.3 is probably pretty good for a forecast, because honestly, a lot of this is going to be mixed with rain. One more thing, we'll look at this, the ensembles again. I like showing these. This is basically similar to what I just showed you, but I'm going to show you the ensemble mean. And instead of before us being on the left, the current time is the white line. Look out into the future. This is basically Tuesday morning into Tuesday night. It's a little quicker, and the mean is for the snow to fall around 11 o'clock, and it's very brief, and it's only 1/10 of an inch. So I think we're going to have marginal temperatures, marginal event all the way around. I think this is one of those events where we go, hey, look, somebody up at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning Tuesday night is going to see some snowflakes, and that's about it. You're going to wake up on Wednesday morning, and likely none of you will have known it snowed, except probably the fact that it's cold. The other thing I should tell you, it is going to be frigid behind this front. The temperatures are going to be brutally cold. Just to give you an idea, let me put the 2-meter temperatures up here. You can see how cold. That blue line is the 32-degree line, and you can see as we go into Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, it doesn't warm up much, but really look at Wednesday night. The deep freeze sets up here. We're talking about temperatures well down into the 20s. So you can see this big sprawling area of frigid Arctic air moving into the southeast. So tonight, I would tell you a lot has changed, but really hasn't. The one thing that's changed, I'm convinced we could have a wintry mix. It's going to be wet snow mixed in with rain, no accumulation, no issues on the roads, just kind of early. Typically, we don't see snow like this until probably mid-December when we start talking about maybe a chance. This is about a month early. So it's a novelty event all the way around, but just to give you a heads up, there will be some snow mixed with a little bit of rain if you're up really early Wednesday or up really late Tuesday night. Not a lot of moisture to work with, not a really strong storm. Don't look for accumulation. Don't look for school closures, delays, anything like that. We'll keep an eye on the mountains. Some wraparound moisture could pile up 1 inch or 2 on the backside. But the big story from all this to take away, it's going to be cold, so get ready. Of course, I'll have complete details and a more detailed forecast with an updated snow meter for the first time this season coming up at 4, 5, 6, and 11 on NBC Charlotte starting Monday. I'll see you then.